Hey everyone! Welcome back to SmartBot Sphere. In this video, we're going to build a really fun and simple game using Python, a Smiley Crush game. If you've ever played Candy Crush or any Match 3 puzzle games, this will feel familiar. But here's the twist. Instead of colored candies, we'll be using cute emoji smileys. We'll cover the entire code step by step. Setting up the Pygame window, generating the smiley board, handling clicks and swapping smileys, detecting matches, applying gravity and refilling the board, and finally, adding score and sound effects. This is a great beginner-friendly project if you're learning game development with Python. So, grab a coffee, open your code editor, and let's get started. First, make sure you have a basic understanding of Python. You should be familiar with writing functions, using loops, lists or arrays, and working with variables and conditions. If you've already done a few beginner Python exercises, you're good to go. Alright, let's start by importing the required libraries. We first import Pygame. This is the main library that helps us create windows, draw graphics, detect user input, and manage game loops. We also import random to randomly place smileys on the board. Next, we initialize Pygame by calling pygame.init. Then we set up some constants. The width and height of our game window are set to 600 by 650 pixels. That extra 50 pixels on top will be used to display the score and number of moves. We define 8 rows and 8 columns, so our board is an 8 by 8 grid. Each candy or smiley will have equal size, calculated as the total width divided by the number of columns. We also define our game's frames per second, FPS equals 60, so the screen updates smoothly. We create the game window using pygame.display.set_mode. And give it a title using pygame.display.set_caption, with the name Smiley Crush. Next, we set up the fonts. We use pygame.font.sysfont, Arial, 28, for regular text, like score and moves, and pygame.font.sysfont, Seago UI emoji, 48, for displaying emojis. It's important to use an emoji-friendly font here, otherwise the smileys may not render properly on the game board. Then we define a list of smiley faces. For example, grinning face, face with tears of joy, smiling face with hard eyes, smiling face with sunglasses, pouting face, nauseated face. These will act like different candy colors in Candy Crush. We then build our board using a list comprehension. This fills the grid with random smileys for each row and column. We also initialize 2 game variables. Score equals 0 to keep track of the player's score. Moves equals 0 to count how many valid moves the player has made. To make the game more fun and interactive, we load 2 sounds. Click_sound to play when the player selects or swaps smileys. Score_sound to play whenever matches are cleared. You can observe I have respective audio files kept in project folder. We use a try except block, so if the sound files are missing, the game won't crash. This is a good example of writing safe and flexible game code. Now let's move on to the drawing part. The draw_board function is responsible for looping through each cell on the board, rendering the smiley emoji in the center of that cell using our emoji font, drawing a rectangular grid around each cell so players can see the board structure clearly. We also created another helper function, draw_score_moves, which displays the current score on the left and the number of moves on the right side of the screen. These two functions are called on every frame refresh, which makes the board and the score update smoothly as the player plays. The next part is handling interaction, when the player clicks on two smileys to swap them. The swap function is simple. It takes two positions on the board and swaps the smileys at those locations. But remember, in match 3 games, a swap is only allowed if the two smileys are next to each other, and if the swap results in a valid match. We'll check that logic a bit later inside the event handling loop. The find_matches function is a crucial part of the game. Here's how it works. We create an empty set called matched. First, we scan the board horizontally. For every row, we check if 3 consecutive smileys are the same. If yes, we add their positions to the matched set. Then we do the same check vertically. In the end, we return all matched positions. These are the smileys the player successfully matched. Once we know which smileys matched, we need to remove them and make the board fall naturally. The clear_matches function plays the score sound if available, sets each matched cell to none, meaning it's now empty, and increases the score by 10 points per smiley. Next, the apply_gravity function makes the smileys above fall down into any empty spaces below. This is done by looping from the bottom of each column upwards. Finally, refill_board fills any remaining empty spaces with new random smileys from our smiley list. This ensures the board is always fully filled, and the game continues. Now comes the heart of the program, the main game loop. Inside the loop, we clear the screen with a dark background, draw the score and the game board, and check for events like mouse clicks or quitting the game when the player clicks inside the board. If no smiley is currently selected, we store this click as the selected smiley. If the click sound is available, we play it. If a smiley is already selected, we check if the new click is on an adjacent cell. If yes, we swap them and check if the swap creates a valid match. If it does, we count it as a move and let the game handle the match. If it doesn't, we simply swap back and reset the selection. After processing input, we call find_matches again. If there are any matches, we clear them, apply gravity, and refill the board. Finally, we update the display and control the frame rate using clock.tick FPS. When the player closes the window, the loop ends and pygame.quit is called. Let's run the code with command python space program name.py. Now look at the board. The green color nauseated face has option now in one move 3 can be made similar in sequence. I'm moving it. Look, the score is added. And the move is also added. Now see the board. We have 2 options in left side. Either green can be cleared in a sequence or smiling emoji can be cleared as sequence. I am moving smiley emoji this time. The score and move are added. And that's it. We've successfully created a Smiley Crush game in Python with just a few lines of code using Pygame. We learned how to build a grid-based game board, draw emojis on the screen, handle user clicks and swapping logic, detect and clear matches, apply gravity and refill the board, track score and moves, and even add sound effects to make the game more interactive. You can take this project further by adding special smileys like bombs or lightning, a timer or level system, fancy animations and effects. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to SmartBot Sphere, and hit the bell icon, so you don't miss my upcoming tutorials on Python, Power Platform, and AI. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy coding!